Hey everyone, Candy's Our Review here. I'm back with another video. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit subscribe, hit the little bell next to the subscribe button so that you guys get notifications. YouTube changed its whole little algorithm, so make sure you do that if you guys want to keep up with the new content that I'm posting. Today, as you know already from the thumbnail, I'm going to be talking about wigs. Wigs. I'm not going to be doing some like wig tutorial or anything like that. There's plenty of that all over YouTube. Brenny Lee, she does amazing wig tutorials. That's like her thing, and I know she uses mostly like human hair, so that might be a little bit different, but yeah, there's tons of wig tutorials out there. Before we get started, I'm going to tell you that this is in the context of veiling, head covering, and how I view modesty. So I know that most of you who have seen me on social media or who walk in the Hebrew way of life, or who, you know, live out a Messianic life or a Jewish life or whatever, might be like, that doesn't make any sense. I know my Muslim friends maybe feel that way, and people who watch the show who only view head covering and modesty, or veiling, hijab, and modesty in an Islamic context. That's very common. And then there's also those of you who are in a Christian lifestyle who maybe wear like wide headbands and hats, and view it in a Christian context of modesty and head covering. So none of this may be new to some of you, and all of this might be new to some of you. I don't really know, but I know that one person did ask specifically, and I thought like that would be a good video because I feel like it would be something beneficial to those who are looking for different options. So to get started, why do I think that wigs also qualify as a veil or a head covering or whatever? Biblically speaking, my view, based on studying the scriptures in Hebrew and in Greek and then back to Hebrew, is that modesty in the Bible is almost always, if not always, connected to a sense of privacy and connected to a sense of like a physiological, psychological effect for the person doing it. Well, if you think about the Israelites and the fringes, the tassels, the tzitzit, whatever that they're supposed to wear, the garments of the priests, just how different an Israelite would have looked, and a Jew in the New Testament would have looked from the Gentile people. So if the point of modesty is not be flashy, well then we need to make sure that we're like, oh Christ, Yeshua, Messiah, you cannot be wearing that garment, that, you know, those fringes, that garment, it's too flashy. People know that you are a rabbi or a respected man because you had garments and you had your fringes on, and people were just like, if I could but touch just the fringe of his garment, you know, we could be like, oh man, he was being so flashy, he needs to have some more humility. But none of us are like that. And so I think that we need to be careful taking on maybe a Western perspective or just a outside of the Bible definition and view of modesty based on what we view as common sense, or based on what we've created via our church fathers and sages and rabbis and just other leaders. Now within Judaism, modesty is mainly about privacy, and it's about creating an environment or an atmosphere or an aesthetic of yourself that shows the beauty of our Creator, and that shows that God is all about beauty. He's all about beautifying. He's all about taking care and having pride in oneself. So the Jewish view of modesty is extremely different than a maybe like more traditionalist, like Amish, Mennonite, and Quaker view of modesty, and it's also different from a view that's similar to the Amish view, an Islamic view of modesty. So those views of modesty are more so connected to stripping yourself down to your most natural form, and then, you know, covering private sexual parts, or parts that you feel like are alluring or distracting or can cause someone else to lust after you, and then going out into the world and showing that. And they believe like that's closer to godliness and humility and those sorts of things, or at least it shows that. I don't have that view. My view of modesty is closer to a traditional Jewish view of modesty, which I also think is a biblical view of modesty, that it's not about hiding your beauty. It's not about not looking like the world, in the sense of like you can't wear makeup and you can't wear jewelry and you can't draw any attention to yourself. Because the Amish draw attention to themselves. Like, it is what it is. Like, when you dress that different and you have a cap on, like, you're gonna draw attention to yourself. Same thing within Islam. So, my view is connected to privacy and creating an atmosphere or an aesthetic of myself that's beautiful and that shows the creativity and the beauty and the vibrance of our Creator. And, like, those are all things that come from Him. But it also, for me, is, like I said in a video before, in the makeup video, I believe is makeup biblical or is jewelry biblical? It's connected to keeping my most beautiful self, which, in my opinion, my very humble opinion, but truthfully, I do think, like, you know, any person naked in their natural state, freshly showered or freshly cleaned, is the most beautiful, sexy, hot, attractive thing. And so for me, it's like, well, that's private, and that's because it's a vulnerable state, right? And so it's a private state, and it's a state that I think should be dealt with care. And so I kind of flip the thinking on that. So with that being said, I think wigs obviously substitute, qualify, act as a covering. Why? It's covering your natural hair, or, you know, yeah, your natural hair, or if you don't have any hair, your head. And it's creating that sense of privacy while it's still very pretty. So it's just like tie-dye scarves or printed scarves that are very beautiful. Yeah, so in scripture, 1 Corinthians 11 addresses head coverings in the New Testament. Prior to that, it's not a command, it is a custom that is mentioned often, and it is talking about a veil that covers your face and or that covers your hair. In the New Testament, 1 Corinthians 11, the word that is in Greek that is used for head covering or veil it simply means something that hangs down. And it technically, if we're going to be extremely technical, it denotes fabric, material, cloth that hangs down. So something like this that hangs down, that covers the head. For me, I think that these hang down. It looks like hair. It's the purpose of covering your head or your hair, because it doesn't say hair, it says head. But it covers your head, it hangs down. It's not fabric, but these are actually synthetic wigs. I only use synthetic wigs. So, I mean, it might count. I don't really know if that would technically fall under a fabric or a material or a cloth. I mean, a material, I guess. But for me, it qualifies. It achieves the purpose. I will put a link below so those of you interested can better understand. I think that it's a way to express creativity without damaging my own hair. Also, like, I don't know that my hair would ever grow to be like this long. I do have the habit of cutting my hair. So I haven't cut my hair in a year and a half, I think. Yeah, about a year and a half, and it's driving me crazy. Like, y'all, I want to cut it like mom cut right here so badly. But I told my husband I'd grow it out, and then, you know, he's growing his beard out, which I adore and love. Wear different types of wigs. Obviously this one is dark and it's like loosely ringlet curled. This one's more of like a blonde, goldish blonde color, and it's straight. I have two more. This one is like a short blonde one, which I really like this one. Y'all will see me wear that one probably most often. And then this is a newer one I have that is like a poofier, curly one. I'm looking for one that kind of matches like my hair, but like my hair texture. But the one I found was like 84 bucks. All of these have been like 15, 20 bucks each. Like, that's, you know, they're synthetic. Like, I don't spend a lot of money on it. Just there's no purpose or point, in my opinion, to do that. But I know that there's a lot of controversy around black women who wear weaves, wigs, fake hair extensions, etc. I don't see that it's not controversial for some reason for white women, Latino, every other race of woman on this planet can wear fake hair, can get a nose job, can get boob jobs, can do all sorts of things to her body, and no one really cares. Like, you know, like no one bats an eye. They get applauded, it's all good, and it's fine. Even religiously, it's like no one cares. A black woman wears a wig or has a weave or gets some sort of work, cosmetic work done on her body. And I don't believe in cosmetic work. I don't think that morally that is good. However, it's frustrating because I get comments or I see things like, oh, you got a wig on, oh, you're blonde, you want to be white, and all of these things. And I just think it's so ridiculous. Why can't black women just be our natural creative selves? We do things, other races take it, it gets popular, and then we're still being talked down to about doing it. It's all okay and it's all celebrated, but if we do it, we must hate ourselves. It's not because we're creative, it's not because we're influencers, it's not because, you know, we're into fashion or anything. It's gotta be because we hate ourselves. And for me, that is such a colonized mindset. But if I don't wanna damage my hair, I can achieve the look by simply putting this on my head. And for me, it also takes the place of a scarf. If I don't feel like wearing a scarf, I can put a wig on. And so I don't know why that's so controversial within like a Hebrew community and within the Messianic community. But I do feel like it's connected to the fact that I'm a black woman, I'm a Hebrew woman, whatever. And everyone just feels like if black women are not completely natural all the time, then that means that they must hate themselves. I did want to get on here and talk to you guys about why I wear wigs, why I think they're okay to wear wigs. I do not wear human hair. I said that earlier. I morally am against that because I don't know whose head's being shaved to get that. I don't know if that would biblically be okay. I mean, there's nothing in scripture, I guess, against it, but maybe there is. I don't know. I haven't really studied that out too far. But I just feel better with synthetic hair. It's cheaper. I know for a fact no woman's being shaved, no children are being shaved, no one's being oppressed so that I can have hair on my head in a wig. And I sleep better at night knowing that. So if you guys are into wigs, I got these from like hairsisters.com. I'll like put the link below, but hairsisters.com, and then I think the other one was like Diva Tress or something like that, and then Amazon. I'm not like super fancy with it. And yeah, so I can show you guys how I put one of these on. I'll probably just show you guys this one. It's not hard, and this is why I think they're so cool, but just take the scarf off. My hair is in two braids, two like just like pigtail braids, and then it's just like in a bun back there. You should probably like put it as flat as you can. I just can't French braid, so it doesn't really matter to me. And then I have not brushed these wigs out, so it's gonna look a little crazy, but rock with me. So anyway, just toss it on my head like so. Boom. Adjust it, do what I need to do, whatever. Not a big deal. I don't know. And there you have it. And it's like, and then you can go and it's fine. Of course, you guys can watch other YouTube videos and tutorials to get like how to like lay everything down and keep it still and all of the extra that I don't have time for. But hopefully this video was informative and maybe helped you think about wigs and fake hair and black people and biblically, do wigs qualify, or what qualifies as a head covering? Do you get your ideas about head covering or veiling via the Old Testament or the New Testament, or both together, and all of those things. So if you like the content of this video, be sure to like, press the thumbs up button below, and until next time, bye everyone.